get hoodwinked. I happened to make a presentation the very first time I showed up. Will invited me. Interestingly enough, I write a blog. I write a blog on personal responsibility. It's called The View from Outside My Tiny Window, and I operate under the auspices of the Institute for Applied Common Sense. I recently wrote an article about fear, and it was about the fear to engage people, the fear to reach out, the fear to get involved. So it's very appropriate in light of Wendy's topic. And my position is fear ought to be added as one of the deadly sins. I argue that it should be the 8th deadly sin, because when you fear something, you don't have an opportunity to grow from the experience of engagement. I'll give an example here locally. I lived in Los Angeles for 30 years. Every imaginable ethnic group, cultural group, food, dance, value system, whatever. But I grew up here in Greensboro. In fact, I was in the Toastmasters International in 1966, 1967 as a kid. When I came back, what I noticed was the area, the whole environment was primarily focused on black folks and white folks. But the Asians were not part of the process for the most part. And the Hispanics were not part of the process. And so I started speaking up and saying, we need to engage more people. And what I found is that folks were afraid to engage folks they didn't know and with whom they had not had prior experiences. So from my perspective, you can't do anything but improve. There is nothing else but a positive result that comes about from engaging people. This is an example I give. The reason the Roman Empire was such an incredible force for 1,000 years was because they assimilated so many different cultures into their culture. They'd go take over France, they'd go take over this country, they'd go take over England, they'd go take over Germany. And what happened is the German fellow with a plow met the English fellow with a plow, and with the French fellow with a plow, and the Egyptian fellow with a plow, and ultimately what happened is all their plows were compared to one another, and you came up with a better plow. That's why multiculturalism, engagement, pursuing the things that you fear, pursuing the things that you don't know, pursuing the things that you don't understand, ultimately result in an exponential increase in your knowledge, and you gain more depth as an individual. So in conclusion, in response to Wendy's concern, I'm of the position, once again, that fear ought to be one of the 8 deadly sins. Well, it's now only 7 deadly sins. I think it ought to be the 8th deadly sin, because it does nothing but restrict us, limit us, and we don't get the full potential out of ourselves, other people, and our society.